Superheroes Academy. Unleash your agile superpowers. Hi, I'm Brock Argue, co-founder and coach at Superheroes Academy. You can find us online at superheroes.academy. Today, I'd like to talk to you about self-awareness. This is an important skill for leaders and coaches, scrum masters, to have in their toolbox. Daniel Goleman first brought us the idea of self-awareness over 20 years ago in his book, Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. He described to us the brain science behind emotional intelligence and talked about how it's more important and indicative of good leaders than how smart they are. Emotional intelligence starts out as the keystone of self-awareness, as Daniel Goleman would say. From self-awareness, which is really the ability to recognize one's own thoughts, feelings, and emotions in the moment, is the basis for kind of our behavior and everything else that comes from that. Being self-aware helps us in our relationships and in how we approach different situations that we run into each day. From that foundation of having a good self-awareness of what's happening for me in the moment, we can then work on our self-management. That's the second part of emotional intelligence. Being able to understand what's going on for me enables me to make better decisions about how I want to react in a certain situation or the decisions I want to make. And so that leads to better self-management. All of that is required in order to get to the next level of emotional intelligence, which is social awareness and relationship management. As a leader, it's impossible to influence others and build good, strong relationships in our organizations without first having self-awareness and building off of that to build good relationships by knowing what's going on for other people and figuring out how best to manage those relationships and make those connections for everyone. On our website, superheroes.academy/blog, you'll find a blog with the self-awareness worksheet. This worksheet is a tool that you can use to increase your own self-awareness. This tool has 4 sections in it. First column it has is a situation. Second one is thoughts. Third is feelings. And then lastly is actions. The way you would use this worksheet is at the end of every day for a week, you would sit down, take 10 minutes, and review what has happened during your day. Think of situations that you've been in and write them down. Now, a situation can be anything. It can be going for coffee with a friend, or commuting on the bus on the way to work, or while I was in that meeting, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. You write down your situation, and then you think back to that moment and write down what you were thinking in that moment. Not what you're thinking now about that situation, but what you were thinking in that moment. And then you do the same for your feelings. What was I feeling in the moment? And then you write down your action. What action did I take? If you do 3 to 5 situations per day for a week, you can then, at the end of the week, look back at the results that you have and the answers, and look for patterns and things that you might notice. Perhaps there's a feeling that shows up often for you, such as frustration or anger or embarrassment or something like that. Perhaps you notice a pattern of thought that isn't based in truth. That's maybe something that you want to look into as you're making decisions based on thoughts that were not true. And by doing this, you can look through and find ways that maybe your self-awareness isn't where it needs to be, and find areas where you can improve. You may also want to use this tool in conjunction with a trusted friend or advisor, perhaps your own coach, where you can review it with them and they can help you identify these patterns and figure out steps to take to improve in your self-awareness. If you have any questions about the worksheet, feel free to ping me. You can find me online, brock.argue@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about self-awareness and the worksheet, and connect you with other resources that you might find helpful. Thank you for listening, and remember to join the Superheroes Academy and unleash your agile superpowers.